Well, welcome to Tansson TV Plus. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mom.
Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yep, thank you for joining with us again.
Yes, we always love doing this. And Mom, it's snowing outside, and what are we doing today? How are you doing?
Brandon, I am doing fine. It is such an unexpected snow, or at least I didn't read ahead until the last minute and saw that it was going to snow because it so rarely snows in our area. And so it is very nice seeing the nice white streets outside. And so it's just been a good day, Brandon. And today we're going to talk about talk about 227.
Yes, and which episode are we speaking about?
And we're keeping up with the theme for this month, and so we have another winter-filled theme, and this one's called Mary's Christmas.
How original of a title. This episode released December 14th of 1985.
Yes, it did. And I'm gonna give just a very brief synopsis of this particular episode, and I can do this in one sentence: their church has gone missing. Yes, I know, shocking. But anyway, in this particular episode, the church has to move its locations, and so the pastor of the church does decide that he wants to physically move the church to a different area, and so Mary's husband Lester is a construction worker, or I should say, a construction manager, and so with his company, they're able to move the church to a different location, and however, their church goes missing.
Whatever shall they do?
I don't know. And this, of course, happens right at Christmas time, right before the yearly pageant.
Well, Mom, thank you so much for the synopsis.
You're welcome, Brandon.
And overall, what did you think about this episode?
You know what, Brandon? I absolutely love this episode. It is very sweet and heartwarming, and it is funny at the same time. For those of y'all looking for family things to watch, it is one that you can watch.
Yes, it definitely is, and I will say it brings so many of our Christmas tropes, so to speak, our themes into this episode.
It really does. It really does. And the question, of course, we always ask is why did we choose and whose turn was it to pick? This time it was my turn to pick. And so I did choose this episode. I do remember when it came on originally in the mid 80s. And so I do remember watching this. Well, I wouldn't have watched it live. However, it would have been a few months later, but I do remember watching this.
Is it exactly how you remember?
It is exactly how I remembered. And of course, I've seen it years later too. So, yes, it is exactly how I remembered it.
Well, Mom, of course, I've seen this episode as well, much, much, much later. But nevertheless, it is how I remember it. And this is only the 13th episode of the series.
Yes, it is. It is. And
Well, Mom, how does this fit in with our Christmas, winter, holiday fun episodes?
well, Brandon, first for overall, it does have an overall overarching message, which in this case is that Christmas can be celebrated anywhere, or the meaning of Christmas can be celebrated anywhere as long as the story can be heard. In this particular episode, they do talk about the traditional Christmas story. It's done in a play fashion, and there are songs that go along with it. So it is very, very traditional.
Yes, and I will say, at least for me, even though this isn't per se a part of our Worcester guidelines, but I always feel like a good Christmas episode usually brings in the unwitting stranger, if you will, to help guide them. And so in this case, I'd say that that is the pastor. Although I wouldn't necessarily say that he really guided them, instead of more so misguided them.
Yeah, he did a little bit of misguidance. At the end, he was able to wrap it all together, but yes, he did do a little bit of misguidance. Um, I will say that we always look for some of the songs. That typically is one of the things that we notice in most of the Christmas episodes. So this one did have it. We heard "Go Tell It on the Mountain." We heard "Joy to the World," and there were some others in there, and we also had a choir. So they were ready for the songs in this particular episode.
Yes, I definitely were. And I think what's interesting, I mean, first of all, this is our second episode discussing 227. We discussed the series premiere back on episode 1, and then the pilot on episode 6. So now we're about another couple episodes later on 13. But I will say that we do see, of course, more progression. Some people are getting more into their roles, but this is before they decide to make Sandra the Sandra that we all know of being very over the top.
Yes, it is. And in fact, some of the characters were not even in the theme song yet. For example, Pearl was not in there yet, and neither was Calvin, if I remember correctly. I don't think either of them were quite in the theme song. I will say, but this particular episode, we've talked about the tree being a focus on some of our Christmas episodes. In this case, the tree stood out in the sense only because it was missing in the first, I should say, scene of the show. However, in the as soon as we established what was going on at the time of the year, the tree was in the next scene. But in this case, the tree was not the focus. It really was the church itself. And so the church was kind of representing the physical thing that typically we see in a lot of the Christmas episodes.
Yes, and so it's definitely interesting. I mean, to see that sort of dynamic, and of course being voluntold and all of the normal, sitcom hijinks. But I think what really brings us into, I guess, the fold of being a Christmas episode in the TV fashion is sort of the ability to go from oh no to a wow, this is a miracle, and we understand the true meaning of Christmas over the course of about half an hour.
Yeah, in this case, about 21 minutes. So yes, that is true. And Brandon, I will just say overall, I just thought it was a nice episode. I like to rate my shows 1 to 5, 5 being the highest. In this case, I'll give it a 4.5. Like I said, it was just a nice, warm-hearted episode, and so sometimes I think you just kind of need that. And so I'll give this a 4.5.
Well, Mom, I think that's your highest yet for the holiday episodes.
I think so. I think I have 1.5. Can't remember which one it is, but I did have 1.5.
Well, Mom, I'm going to have to agree with you. I definitely think that this is a very fitting episode and very well done. And, Mom, did you want to go over our connection?
Yeah, what are our connections, Brandon?
Yeah, so our main connection is with the production company, NBC Television. They've produced a lot of shows that we have discussed over the years as the production company of Norman Lear. Most recently, of course, that same company produced the episode The Facts of Life we spoke about.
Oh, yes, yes. I said, do we have any other connections?
Let's see. Well, of course, we have Jack A. Harry.
Oh, yes, from Sister Sister, although this was the original to it, but yes.
Yes. I'm trying to think. And of course, we had it where uh, the actor that plays Lester, of course, he was in the first episode of T.J. Hooker, if I remember correctly.
Yep, he was in the first episode of T.J. Hooker. So we have a lot of connections, and we see how the actors and some of the storylines are kind of linked together, which is really really nice to see. Since we've done this for over a couple of years now, it is nice to see how everything's kind of linking together.
Yes, it definitely is great to see. Yeah, I mean, how it really comes together. And I think that sort of makes this even more fun, especially for the holiday season, being able to see all of these different shows connect.
I know, Brandon. I'm really enjoying going back and just watching not only the holiday shows, but we've kind of gone back and watched episodes of different things along the way. We start with one episode and we end up watching several of them. And so it has been nice doing this holiday season. And so please let us know what other holiday shows you'd like for us to look at.
Yes, definitely. Please let us know. And I completely forgot that Helen Martin, that plays Pearl, was also in that same episode, first episode of T.J. Hooker.
Oh yes, Helen Martin she got around as an actress, and yes, and we have seen her in multiple things. Shows we have not talked about on here, but we've seen her in multiple things.
Yes, I would say that her quick wittedness within this episode, especially with the pastor and the refusing to acknowledge the collection plate, I think is a fun part of this episode.
Yes, it is. It is. It is. And so let us know. Is this one of the episodes that you guys think about when you think about holiday episodes? Let us know in the comments. And we thank everybody for watching today.
We look forward to seeing you next time.
All right. Bye, everybody.